I spent $80,000 and I wasn't even employable. You know, when I was coming out of high school, it was the thing to do to go to college, right? Your parents always tell you, that's what you gotta do. You gotta go to college. You're gonna graduate high school, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna get a degree, and you're gonna get a good job. I go to college, I get my degree, and I come out and there's no opportunity for jobs. I mean, the opportunity that was there was very small, and I was getting paid somewhere around $13 an hour to do door-to-door sales for businesses. And I had a 4-year business management degree. I left that job and then I ended up going to another job where I was a receptionist for a virtual office company. So I would sit at the front desk, and when coffee pods needed to be changed out, that's what I was doing. Not a very glamorous job and not what I expected from my 4-year degree. And I think one of the things that's interesting is you got a lot of gurus floating around now that use the phrase college dropout or high school dropout. And people talk about these things as if it was a disadvantage for them, right? They're putting out offers that say, oh, this college dropout did this. College dropout doesn't put you at a disadvantage. Let's think about this. If you dropped out of college or dropped out of high school, guess what happened? You skipped the formal education system, which means you didn't waste 4, maybe 5 years of your life being educated on topics that you're not going to be able to put into practice. Number 2, that time wasted, you're actually working a real job. You're learning a real skill. You're actually becoming something in the workplace that people want. You drop out of college first year, and now you're out there working. You're out there actually doing something, becoming somebody. You're in the field, you're low. You're super low on the totem pole. You're barely making anything. But guess what? You're 19 years old. You don't need much money to survive. I was paying for my student loans while surviving at 19 and going to college and working a job on the side. So at that point, if I could do it, obviously every other 19-year-old could do it, and then you got to do it without having to also go to class and try to maintain grades and learn shit that you weren't interested in. I have a 4-year degree, and guess what? It's not even here in my office. It's in the garage. I don't use it. I didn't use it. So the next time you hear somebody say I was a college dropout, take it for what it is. That means they didn't have to compete in the workforce after having 4 years of education that really didn't matter, and they also aren't $60,000 to $150,000 in debt. Look, I'm 32 years old and I'm still paying off some student loans. Now, granted, I'm paying them off because it looks good on my credit to have a revolving credit line that you're making payments on every month, and it's only $100, but I have a ton of friends who are still paying off big student loans, several $100s a month. And you mean to tell me that because you dropped out of college and got to go into the workforce and learn an actual skill, and you got a 4-year head start on me, and you didn't have to take on $80,000 in debt, that somehow that's a bad thing? Look, the world that we're in right now, it doesn't take college degrees to become somebody. A 4-year degree doesn't mean shit, especially not in today's world. And I would rather see people drop out, get real practical skills, find a mentor who can show them something, than spend 4 years going to school. And here's the biggest piece of the puzzle. You guys who are out there in the world, if you want to learn a skill, you can pay $500, $1,000, maybe $3,000 to go to this great event and learn from people actually doing it, right? You're not learning from a professor who only thing he can do is teach. You're learning from somebody who actually is doing it right now. And you only paid $2,000 to $3,000. I had to pay $80,000 for my education that I can't use. Who's the winner here? I can't charge back my education. I can't refund my 4-year degree. If anybody should be upset right now, it's those people who went to college expecting a really good job on the other side and they got screwed. You didn't learn any practical skills. Most basic education platforms, whether it's business, marketing, telecommunications, or communications, you don't learn a skill that you can then go out and practice. There's no internships. There's no actual learning of a skill that's going to put you somewhere right now. And that should upset a lot of people who have a degree. to realize that college dropouts actually have a huge advantage over those of us who went to school for 4 years and paid the big money. And I think that we're gonna see here in the next couple of years a huge trend in the different direction of people not going to college, people actually going out and learning from people. And you can spend 10 grand, right? Buying a whole bunch of really expensive courses that teach internet marketing and softwares and tools. And guess what? You're gonna have a little business at the end of that. I spent $80,000 and I wasn't even employable.